Forever, a family's final moments. Vivian's Collingwood Forever story combines the love shared between a mother and daughter, with an undying passion for the football club which led to their move to Melbourne. In 2018, David Natoli, aka Dave86, returns to Collingwood media to file his famous, in-depth tactical match previews. Since publishing his first report on Nick's bulletin board in early 2005, Dave86 has become a weekly favorite among the passionate online Magpie army, receiving thousands of views for each article. The articles are lengthy and have been published in their entirety as the club did not want to hinder Dave86's creativity during the writing process. The views expressed in Dave86's previews are solely of the author and do not reflect the views of the Collingwood Football Club. Collingwood faces a big challenge this week against a red-hot Greater Western Sydney. After the first round of the season, the Giants sit atop of the AFL ladder following their 82-point thumping of the Western Bulldogs. On the other hand, the Magpies started the season poorly against the Hawks and will go into this Saturday's clash as underdogs. On paper, this is a big challenge for the undermanned Magpies. But it is also an opportunity to get the season off to the right start and silence any critics. The Giants have only beaten the Pies once in their history, and that win was secured courtesy of a last-minute goal last season by Steve Johnson to pinch the game. Heading to the game, read all the key match day information here. The Magpies seem to always match up well against the Giants, and will have the home ground advantage of the MCG, which is a venue the Giants have only won at once before from 12 attempts. But the Giants looked ominous last week, and have so many avenues to goal. Jeremy Cameron, 6 goals, Toby Green, 4 goals, and Jonathan Patton, 2 goals, headline a potent forward line that is very well serviced by a star-studded midfield. Collingwood will need to turn up the intensity to extreme this weekend, and get a huge output from its own midfield. Focus on Collingwood. It was a familiar tale for the Magpies in round 1. Despite being competitive in a number of key areas including inside 50s, clearances, tackles and contested football, it was a lack of efficiency going forward which ultimately cost the Magpies. Despite having 58 inside 50s, the Magpies were only able to score 9 goals, which won't cut it against most sides in the competition. For me, the biggest challenge facing Nathan Buckley and his men is organising the forward line in the absence of key players such as Jamie Elliott, Alex Fasolo, Daniel Wells and Jordan De Goey. Darcy Moore also looks set to play in the backline again, while Mason Cox is out suspended. Finding enough goals to match the offensive juggernaut that is GWS is the problem. The conditions against Hawthorn were slippery, but it provided the backdrop to some basic errors that plagued the Magpies all night. The Giants are one of the best counter-attacking teams in the competition, so the Pies need to be clean with their ball use. Player focus. Adam Treloar. Despite a team-high 33 disposals, his disposal efficiency was down to 42%. Against his former side, Treloar would love to put in a huge game and hit the scoreboard. At his best, Treloar is a damaging goal-kicking midfielder who can tear a game apart. We didn't see enough of his line-breaking skills last week, but, for mine, he looms as the key player for the Magpies this week. Adam Treloar will face his old side this weekend. Focus on Greater Western Sydney. For the Giants to be genuine premiership contenders, they need to win at the MCG. This match is an opportunity for them to get some experience at the home of football. Much has been written about the top-end talent in which the Giants possess. In recent years, the Giants have struggled defensively and have received some attention for their need to apply forward pressure. The focus may be on the star talent, but the most pleasing thing to come out of their win last week was the emergence of valuable players such as Zach Langdon, Harrison Himmelberg and Daniel Lloyd. Along with veterans such as Sam Reid and Matt DeBoer, the Giants have a number of players that are willing to do the blue-collar work, which in turn allows the superstars to play their natural game. Last week's win was the best I have seen the Giants tackle, and the best I have seen them lock the ball inside forward 50. Despite having 90 more disposals than the Bulldogs, the Giants also had more tackles. This is a sign of a team that is working hard at sticking to the task. There seems to be a strong team focus, with everyone having clearly defined roles. Player focus. Lachi Whitfield. The big question mark over the offseason was how the Giants were going to replace Nathan Wilson, traded to Fremantle, and Zach Williams, out indefinitely with an Achilles injury, both of whom were stars for the Giants off halfback last year. That question has been quickly answered by moving Lachi Whitfield into defense. Whitfield was brilliant last week with a team-high 34 disposals. He is a classy ball user, great decision-maker and also an elite endurance athlete. His runoff halfback was vital in the Round 1 victory. At the selection table, the Magpies will need to make two forced changes with Mason Cox suspended and Josh Smith injured. In line to recalled are the likes of Callum Brown or Brody Mihochek, both of whom were regular features during the JLT series. Otherwise, the coaches could turn to the experience of Chris Mayne or Jared Blair, who were both good in the VFL last week. Alex Fasolo is unlikely to return as he continues to build match fitness, while Matt Scherenberg and Tim Broomhead are also available for selection. Jared Blair has been in fine form in the VFL. Photo, Shane Barry. The Giants have fewer concerns and are unlikely to make many changes following a convincing Round 1 victory. The only change may be Tom Scully, who is pushing for selection since overcoming a preseason knee injury, though he may be required to regain touch in the NEAFL. Jacob Hopper is also on the verge of selection as